LA Kings 6, the Edmonton Oilers 3. Welcome back to the day after reaction. Myself was solo again. We're going to take some of your comments from social media, Twitter, Facebook, reacting day after reaction from last night's Oilers game where they dropped a 6-3 loss to the LA Kings. Oh boy. The Oilers are now on pace for 88 points this season. It's been a headache, to say the least, this year. January is never a fun month to be an Oilers fan, to say the least. And there was a lot of problems in that Oilers game. A lot of, head scratches, Stuart Skinner being pulled a little early. The referees weren't perfect, but when are they ever, really? So let's just get to some of your comments throughout social media. I posted on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just a day after reaction, your thoughts. Darren on Facebook makes a very good comment. When Woodcroft took over, he quickly got the team to buy into the basics of hockey because his practice time was limited coming in mid-season. Manson especially worked on positioning with the defense that seemed to make a world of difference. This team is overcomplicating things and needs to get back to the raw basics of hockey. There are teams with a much worse roster than the Oilers, but continue to battle to win. The answer isn't always in a trade. And I sort of agree with that. I think a trade does need to be made in a sense, hopefully acquiring, a shutdown defenseman, someone you can just add to your blue line and help be more defensively sound. But yeah, there's been a lot of comments surrounding Jay Woodcroft recently. People are feeling that he's kind of going back. It's looking like Dave Tippett almost, or Todd McClellan. There was that high point with Jay Woodcroft, and now it feels like they've kind of gone backwards with him. So I'm not an expert on these things. Another comment from Bradley on Facebook. Still 40 games left with Kane coming back soon. The 7 games upcoming starting on the 25th will define the season. If they don't win at least 5 of those, it won't look good. I mean, I think you got to start winning now, especially with some of these Pacific Division opponents coming up. We have Anaheim, Vegas. We just dropped to LA. We got San Jose. These are crucial points. And if the Oilers do want to be in the postseason, they got to start beating these Pacific Division opponents, especially some of the weaker ones like Anaheim and San Jose. We've already lost to Anaheim. They've shown they can beat us, right? And it's something that's been kind of reiterated on Oilers Nation shows, Oilers Nation every day. In real life, Jay always says how the Oilers play down to their competition. We've seen that before, where they'll play very good against a team like Dallas and then play very poorly against a team like Anaheim or LA, for example, right? So let's get one more comment. A few more comments on Facebook. I saw it today. I'm glad I switched to Breaking Bad after the first and went to bed early. I never watched Breaking Bad, probably should. Probably more enjoyable than that Oilers game. It was a headache. The one positive from that Oilers game, I would say, is maybe the fighting. I can't remember the last time we saw 3 fights from the Oilers in one game, so good to see them, show some emotion. They weren't happy with the way things were going, and neither were Oilers fans, and this is what the day after reaction is about, getting your response, my response. We're all Oilers fans, right, and we're just pissed off with how they're playing, right? Paul on Facebook also says, probably the most frustrating second period of the season during one of the most important road trips of the year, 100%. That was 2012 Oilers version of bad last night, says Eric on Facebook. Too many inexcusable penalties that cost that game. They should have just let LA take all those penalties and just skid around them, says Nathan. And the penalties were a lot. The PK was terrible. Simple as that. And, you can blame the officials as much as you want. Sure, they're going to make a bad call here and there, like that too many men call. But at the end of the day, you need to be good on the PK. Sure, let's say the officials make one bad call that doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, if you kill that off, that's fine. But if you're still taking, 4 more penalties and they're capitalizing on most of these chances, that's technically your fault, We know the NHL officials are terrible. They're going to make bad calls. And you have to be able to kill at least one of those penalties. It's ridiculous. CGF1 on Twitter says, D needs 2 substantial ads. Bottom 6 has 0 identity and doesn't hit or score. Young coach has gone to the guide and record book. Listen, if they're going to depend on 2 players and to do all the scoring, then build a team that allows a good D core and defensive bottom 6. I Miss My Hunter says, honestly, I am contemplating selling all of my Oilers figurines and jerseys and donating them to Ben's charity. I don't know how much longer I can take. Hey, I wouldn't blame you for that. Sounds like at least your money's going to go to a good cause, right? Skeptical Old Grump says the Oilers aren't close. They weren't close against Colorado in last year's conference final. Holloway progressing. Bush, Nurse, Yamo, Yessi going steadily the opposite direction. It was good to see Yamamoto get on the score sheet. I thought we're gonna take any positives out of that game, right? But there's a lot of Oilers fans have every right to be frustrated when you have Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid playing the way they've been playing. Expectations are higher, right? We all know that. And Ken Holland, I think for me personally, I think that it all comes down to him. He is the one who's really constructed a poor roster surrounding Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. It's really strange to me how there's so many weaker teams in the NHL than the Oilers on paper, and yet they play better than the Oilers. Think about that. The Oilers on paper have a pretty decent team, yet there's teams that are like Seattle, for example, who just entered the league last year. They seem to have a very fine season. They're playing competitive hockey. They're not shutting down easily, except for maybe that one game where we put 4 past them in the first period, right? It's strange to say. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to look through some more comments here on Facebook because a lot of people are right. Justin says only themselves to blame. Can't blame the refs on this one because they just had so many power play opportunities. Now, I don't agree with the soft too many men call and their view with the mystery puck in the net, but gotta fight through those tough calls. But there is no fight in this team. This team is showing shades of the 2010 to 2016 again. No heart, no fight. And yeah, that goal that counted, Jack Campbell saved with the glove, I thought it was a great save. Barely crossed the line. You gotta be able to fight back from moments like that. But one positive, I guess, Stuart Skinner's about to become a father. I thought Jack Campbell actually played pretty well coming in for relief. Some tough goals to allow, but Jack Campbell also does need some game time to hopefully boost up his confidence. We'll see, but gotta take it one game at a time. But patience is running thin. I think patience has ran out for a lot of Oilers fans. We're in a win now mode. With that being said, thank you for everyone tuning into the day after reaction. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Give us your reaction from last night. Head to OilersNation.com for more. Next time.